Hey everybody, my name is Camryn Chehreh and I'm the host of Teen Talk. I'm joined this month by former AACPS students to talk about the college application process. I'm so excited to talk to our graduates. I'll see you guys soon on Teen Talk. Hello everyone, my name is Camryn Chehreh and welcome back to Teen Talk. This is a show for students, by students, and today we're going to be talking to some AACPS graduates about that very big thing that is right around the corner. You guessed it, college applications. Now I promise it's not as scary as it sounds, and we have some really awesome people joining us today to answer some commonly asked questions and talk about the different paths they took after graduating. Today, I'm joined in studio by Camryn Chehreh, a 2021 graduate from the IB program at Old Mill High School. Camryn is in his second year at Anne Arundel Community College, majoring in secondary Spanish education. I've known Camryn since I was in middle school. He's a super awesome guy, and I'm so happy to have you in the studio today. Camryn, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I'm very glad you're here. So let's jump into it. Why did you choose AACC?
I chose Anne Arundel Community College because well, to be honest, at first, it was not my first choice. Breaking news. But after deciding not to go to a four-year university, I started looking at the institutions like community colleges, specifically Anne Arundel Community Colleges, because it's local, quality education. I loved every single one of my professors. My class sizes are actually smaller than what I had at Old Mill. And I love every second of it. There are a lot of opportunities that you can take your classes online, asynchronous, in person. So there's a lot of options for students, and I think that opportunity is really exciting.
That is so awesome. So you said you loved it, and you kind of talked about overall, but do you want to go a little more in depth of kind of what you've been doing and how you've liked it overall?
Sure. So my first semester at Anne Arundel Community College, I was completely virtual. I was like, I don't know if I want to get involved, which is kind of funny.
That's very ironic.
Yeah, I know, right?
Whoa.
I was like, I've done this a long time. But then I started getting involved with the Student Government Association, which I'm the executive vice president of now. And it's different type of student government. We deal with a lot of club budgets and stuff. And that experience has been really interesting to see the students get involved. And in the classroom, I've taken pretty much every single type of class, so asynchronous. I've done it in person, online sync, and it's just every single one has unique characteristics that are really cool.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that you are the second executive of your SGA?
The executive vice president,
Executive
yes.
vice president. Can you dive a little bit more into what that means and maybe some of your other roles at the college?
Sure. So as executive vice president, I serve as the right-hand guy to my president and making sure that our clubs have the resources that they need. Right now, we're actually facing a decrease in enrollment, so that affects the money that we're able to give clubs because they're funded through student activity fees that you pay in your tuition. So dealing with that challenge has been interesting. I also serve as a student trustee on the Board of Trustees for Anne Arundel Community College. It's kind of like your student member of the Board of Education here. I also have full voting rights, so that's really exciting and really cool, being able to make those decisions at the school level on behalf of my peers.
That is so awesome. It sounds like you're doing a lot every day.
Yes.
Do you have any favorite classes?
So there's two classes in particular that I really like, and I stick with the same professor if I can, if they teach the next one. So Dr. Kansas Hill with the English department that I've stayed with because of her exciting nature. She brings real-world examples and stuff like that. Also, not doctor yet, but she's working on her doctoral degree. Professor Jody Hogan in the Spanish department, who actually was an AACPS teacher here for a long time.
Oh, wow.
But she's kept classes really exciting. I'm taking a Spanish civilization class, taking conversation, film, and it's just been really exciting. Those professors have really just made an impact, and I like, stay with them, and because the less you got to change and just keeping with the norms is good.
That's awesome. So you chose secondary Spanish as your major. Can you tell me a little bit about why you chose that and if you looked at any other majors? Because I know the community college has so many things to offer.
Yes. So I chose secondary Spanish education because I want to be a Spanish teacher. I want to come back here and teach in our own county public schools. And I did some camps a couple summers ago before COVID. and I just fell in love with it, just teaching the kids Spanish and stuff like that with our other high school language teachers. And just that ability to learn another language to open you up to a whole new culture and just more opportunities is just, I just love it.
That sounds like so much fun. So as a student at the college, outside of all your responsibilities and your classes, what are some of your favorite activities to take part in on campus?
That's a good question. So we have this really cool health and life sciences building, brand new, and they have a Chick-fil-A. So
That's
I like
a
to
huge
yes,
plus.
yes.
There we go.
So you heard it here first. But I really enjoy going and seeing the new infrastructure that we have in a college and seeing all that and just connecting with students. I mean, seeing where services that we don't offer, just making sure that they're heard and stuff like that. I just enjoy just listening to what the concerns and needs are.
So the college has been around for quite a while, right? Would you say that in your time at the college, things are constantly changing and expanding and moving, and especially after COVID in a post-COVID world, do you think students coming in would have that flexibility of like being on a campus where things are changing and the admin is listening to them?
So we've had incredible amount of student input within the processes of what's going on. For example, our graduation, we were going to do another commencement. Usually they go into the parking lot at our Arnold campus and do diplomas, but we said, you know, it's time to be back in person. And we returned back at Maryland Live, same place where you have your graduations.
Yes.
And we did that, so that's kind of an example of that. So yeah.
So you said the Arnold campus. I know that's the main campus.
Yes.
Are there other campuses and ways to take classes?
Of course. So we have 3 campuses. We have the Arnold campus located right off of Ritchie Highway and College Parkway. We have our Glen Burnie Town Center location located in the heart of Glen Burnie. And we also have our Arundel Mills location, which is located right outside the Arundel Mills mall complex. Those facilities are really important because we want to be able to expand the amount of students, because Arnold obviously is kind of a pain to get to for some students. So just helping them where we can do that and to have more access to education. I mean, not everyone has internet access and stuff like that, so they might not be able to take a online class, but just expanding that access is something that's really important to us.
That's really awesome. So you mentioned a lot of just really, really awesome things that are happening. Can you pick 1 or 2 of your favorite things about going to AACC?
I'll name an office. The Office of Student Engagement is my favorite thing about Anne Arundel Community College. They're such a fun bunch. We have a office space back there where our Student Government Association kind of lives, and it's just an open space for all Anne Arundel Community College students. And they're just so helpful with anything that we need, and just trying to plan student activities, just trying to get people engaged, because as a commuter school, it's kind of hard to grow that engagement. A lot of folks just go to school and they go home. We want to make sure that they're enjoying their time on campus.
Coming from an AACPS school building, you went to Old Mill, which is so awesome. You actually have one of my favorite teachers, right, Miss Few?
Yes.
Shout out to Miss Few. I don't know if we can do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. What advice would you give to students who are currently at AACPS schools, you know, high schools or middle schools, and are looking into the college? How was that transition? Would you recommend it, honestly?
I would absolutely recommend it. I mean, the amount of money that you'll save is ridiculous. I'm entering my next year debt-free. And that's huge. We see this problem all over the place where students get a lot of debt. So this option is a way to get a quality education without going into significant debt by the time you exit the community college. There's a lot of good professors and good programs that we have at the community college that it's a small setting. Which I think a lot of students will enjoy with some of our class sizes. I think that's something that will positively affect a lot of students.
That's awesome. So do you have any parting words of wisdom or anything else you'd like to say regarding your awesome place at the community college?
Just go and redefine yourself.
That's perfect. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Connor, for taking the time to join me in the studio today. When we come back, we'll hear from some students who are very familiar with the college application process, members of the class of 2022. But first, let's take a look at some of this year's homecoming highlights. Welcome back to Teen Talk. I hope you enjoyed those homecoming highlights. It looks like everyone had a blast this year. I know I sure did. Recently, I had an opportunity to meet virtually with 4 members of the class of 2022. Students who were applying to colleges last year, just like many of you. I wanted to talk to them about their experience with the application process and how they chose the right school for them. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Hi everyone, my name is Arusa and I'm studying International Studies and Political Science at Johns Hopkins University.
Hi everyone, my name is Boomy and I am studying Public Policy at Duke University.
What's up, AACPS? I'm Fletcher Port and I'm a freshman at Penn State studying mechanical engineering.
My name is Justin, and I am a freshman at University of Massachusetts, Boston, and I am majoring in international relations with a minor in political science.
Thank you all so much for being with us here today. I'm going to start with our first question for Fletcher. How many schools did you apply to overall?
So I applied to 13 schools, and I did that so that way I could have some schools that I knew would be reach schools for me, have some schools that I felt comfortable maybe I could get into, and have some schools as safety schools. But I made sure ahead of time, doing some research about that school, asking some people that I know at the school, that was a school I really wanted to go to before I applied, because I know that it's very important that if I'm going to apply somewhere, it's where I actually want to wind up going.
Our next question is for Boomy. What is something you looked forward to in high school about college? Now that you're in college, does it live up to your expectations?
I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and so I watched all my siblings kind of gain a new type of independence as they went to college. And so once I actually graduated from high school and went to college, I was looking to see if that independence of, getting to control what you study, getting to control when you go out, not having to ask for permission from parents, basically getting to be an adult, if that lived up to all those expectations. And I could say it definitely did. The amount of independence I have now is almost overwhelming, and it kind of gives me a glimpse of what life will be like after college and when I'm completely independent. And so I like it. But I know for a lot of my other classmates in college, it can be kind of scary. So it's nice to have each other to kind of depend on in that time.
Our next question is for Arusa. Did you fill out the FAFSA? If so, why?
Yes, I did the FAFSA, which stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. I believe it opened on October 1st, and it opens October 1st every year, and it's open for the next few months. In order to complete it, a student has to take their guardian's tax information, and then you use that tax information to complete a financial aid form. And what this does is it can give colleges that you're applying to a feel for how much your family can contribute to college. And many universities will give you a need-based scholarship to cover the rest. Also, if you plan on applying to private schools, 100%, I recommend completing the CSS profile. This is a financial aid form done through the College Board, and it gives your school more information, which could potentially give you more scholarship aid. I did the FAFSA, and I recommend that everyone does the FAFSA and the CSS profile.
Thanks, Arusa. Our next question is for Justin. What has been the most challenging part about moving away from home and adjusting to college life?
So that's a very great question, Camryn. And this is something that I feel like a lot of my peers have been struggling with, meaning that they have yet to grasp how to overcome certain challenges because it's still a fairly new environment for everyone. So for me, it's that I'm finding out how to function differently from what I am used to and what I called my normality. Since I go to school out of state, it's been a challenge to kind of find everything that works right for Justin, right? So in Maryland, I had to find all my go-to and favorite spots. And once I found them, I grew accustomed to them and I kind of held on to them. But, in Massachusetts, I'm still trying to figure out how to find my new go-to favorite spots that make me comfortable and that makes my mental health kind of, great. Whether it's my favorite pizza place or things that I need, like grocery shopping or a pharmacy or just any other personal necessity, it's very important that any college students, whether if you're out of state or in state or even anyone at a trade school or community college, that you find your favorite spots, because it's really going to help you in the future and in the current.
That's awesome. Now we're going to circle back to Fletcher. What is your favorite part about your school?
To give you the quick rundown of why I love my school so much, it's best to just look at my week. So on Monday, I have my classes, and I have my classes all throughout Friday. But on a Wednesday afternoon, I'll find that I'm going to my student government meeting. Every single day, I get to participate in my club sport. I get to, meet with study groups throughout the week to study in my classes. And then on the weekends, I get to go to a football game, a soccer game. It's just amazing how the work fun balance is at college when you get there. It's something I think you can really find at any university. But I know especially, big state schools or schools that have a lot of students at their school, you find that there's a lot of things to do. And so for me, getting to go to college, as much as it is about the next level of education, it really opens the doors to so many different things, be it the club sports, be it the student organizations you'll get to participate in, finding jobs. It's just amazing. There's so many opportunities once you get to college. The doors just swing right open.
That sounds like so much fun. Going to Justin, what is your favorite part about college overall?
So it's you. Those are the two words. It is you. It's you. You get to decide your sleep schedule. You get to decide when you want to eat. You get to decide your classes and your actual academic schedule. You get to decide if you want to explore your surrounding city at any given moment or time. And you get to decide if the course of your future. So keeping that in mind, it also comes with both good and bad consequences, right? So in the college world, it's your oyster. The world is your oyster. So you get to choose whether if you want to follow the path that's going to get you to your degree in the future and get you where you want to be in life, or you get to follow the path that's going to possibly either set you back or lead to negative consequences. So that's what I kind of like. That's my favorite part of college, that you get that freedom and no one else is kind of deciding that for you.
Thank you for those wonderful words of wisdom, Justin. Moving to Arusa, what was the scariest part about applying to schools?
I think for me personally, the scariest part of applying to schools and the whole process really is kind of the uncertainty. College applications are a very ambiguous process. It could very well happen that one day a college admissions counselor who's reading your application had a bad lunch, and that was the reason why you didn't get accepted. That's an extreme example, but it just goes to show that once you submit your applications, please don't stress. Everything is going to work out as it should. Once you have submit or like hit that submit button, you should know that you tried your best and you did everything that you could in that application, and the rest is up to time, and it's kind of it's like a patience game.
I definitely agree. I submitted a couple applications over the weekend, and that waiting is just ridiculous. So Boomy, what made you choose your school? Did anything stick out to you that made it a really easy choice?
I got into some really, really great schools. And I had a lot of pressure from different family members, even members of my church, different teachers who wanted me to consider different options. But at the end of the day, what really came down to it for me was Duke always was my dream school. Um, and a big part of that is because of the program that I'm currently in, which is the Robertson Scholars Leadership Program. It was my dream program all throughout high school, and it allows me to not only be enrolled at Duke University, but also be enrolled at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. It allows me to get degrees from both, go to school at both, do study abroad for free, and also have all these different experiences with other kids in my cohort that I couldn't really find at any other university that I gained acceptance into. And so once I got that scholarship, the Robertson, it all clicked. I mean, as soon as I saw the email that said congratulations, I saw the next 4 years. I actually committed without waiting to get the rest of my results back. So I love my decision. I love Duke University. It's one of the best schools for my major, so it kind of made it really easy to choose. But it was also difficult to go out of state. I'm the only one of my siblings to go out of state. And so that was kind of a big transition for my family. But this is part of growing up. And this is a message I have for anyone listening, that college, if you decide to go into a four-year university, is one of the biggest decisions that you will get to make for yourself. It might determine the friends you make for the rest of your lives, where you will live one day, what jobs you'll have access to. And so I have no regrets about where I decided to go to school, and I'm loving my semester so far. And I can only hope that through this process, you get to be as happy with your choice as I am right now.
It is so great to hear that you got into your dream school, but not everyone does. Fletcher, how did you handle being rejected from your dream school?
So I got a quick story. For me, I not only didn't get into my dream school, I didn't get into any of my other 12 schools that I applied to. Penn State was the only school that I got into. And for a while, me and my family and my friends were just like, how is it possible after everything you did, you applied to safeties, you applied to your, reach schools. How is this the only one you get into? And I was crushed by it. It ruined me. I was just had no motivation all day, every day, and things like that. And then I went and visited Penn State, and I realized that it almost just felt like somebody else made the decision for me, what my reach school actually was. And the reason that I say all this is because I think that, when you're 18 years old, when you're 17 years old applying to these universities, you think you know exactly what it is that you want. But then until you go there, until you really can immerse yourself in that lifestyle that you're about to live, that you're about to embark on, you won't actually really know, right? I'll be honest, my dream school was the University of Michigan. I went and visited there. I thought it was great. I thought I'd love it. And then I went to Penn State, where it was 20 degrees colder. I was surrounded by all my Philadelphia sports fans, and I had endless opportunities in front of me. And I realized that Happy Valley in the middle of central Pennsylvania was the only valley I ever wanted to live in for these next 4 years. So I know for a lot of you, you're about to get denied from your dream school. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully it all works out. But if you do find yourself in that situation, don't take it as I'm about to go to some school I don't actually want to go to. Take it as here we go. I'm going to wind up going where I really need to be. And that wasn't the place that I needed to be. It really does work out how it's supposed to.
That is so awesome to hear. I'm so glad everything worked out for you, Fletcher. Moving to Arusa and kind of piggybacking off of that, are you happy with your decision to attend your college?
College wasn't really something that I thought about too often in high school. I knew that I wanted to pursue a 4-year degree, but I just hadn't thought much about where I would go. And so I applied to a few schools. I wanted to be close to home, and I wanted to be in a diverse and accepting community. And I really do think that Hopkins has that. And so I'm personally very happy with my decision to go to Hopkins. It was also very nice finance-wise because I did get a scholarship. So it made a lot of sense. It hit all of the marks. It was a feasible option. And I'm very, very lucky to be one of the students to get a scholarship and to have the opportunity to come. So I am very grateful for that. I think when I talk to my friends who are in college, or when I talk to people who are upperclassmen in university, I really don't come across that many people who might have been rejected from their dream school, ended up somewhere else and hate it there. Everyone that is in a college that I've talked to so far, more or less, seems to love it there. And that just goes to show that you really need to trust the process, and you will end up where you're meant to be. I know right now, for a lot of students who might be thinking about attending college, who might be applying even right now, it's really, really stressful. But it's really important to remember that in a year from now, you're going to be in a university, you're going to be having a great time, and you're not going to be thinking about where else you could have gone. So definitely trust the process and have faith that everything will work out in the end.
Arusa, you are literally my idol. Like, I'm not even kidding. I love you so much. So I have one more question for all of you. What is your number one piece of advice for students applying to schools this year? We'll start with Arusa.
I think my one piece of practical advice, and this more goes for students who are going to apply to college, not right now, is start early. Something that I did, and it saved me a lot of stress senior year, is that over the summer, I searched up all of my school supplemental essays. I Googled the 7-8 like Common App like topics that don't really change every year. And I started typing up my essays, creating an outline of what I wanted to do then and there. Definitely don't feel like you have to chug out like 6, 7, 8 essays by July, but kind of think about applying maybe before the school year starts, because you'll find that things tend to snowball once school starts and college applications begin. So getting a head start will make you feel pretty good.
So a piece of advice that I have for those of you who are currently applying is to remember that college is a start, not an ending. I'm going to be quite frank, I was very college obsessed because in my household, there's a big emphasis on academics and going to a good school. And so, I was like, I'm going to apply to Harvard, I'm going to apply to Yale, I'm going to apply to Duke, and then I'm going to get in. And then once I did all those things, I was like, so what's next? And I don't want you seniors who are out there writing those essays, doing those interviews, to be so stuck in the getting to college that you don't think about what you're going to do when you get there. Again, it's a seed. It's what's going to be starting the rest of your life, your adulthood, your independence. And so I think it's a really good time as you go through those really personal supplements and those statements, you think about who you are, what your values are, and who you want to become, because those are the things that are going to keep you grounded when you go off to college. The world is way bigger than Anne Arundel County. I know it's really hard to believe, but it's true. And so you don't want to end up lost after all those common application results come in and you go away from home for the first time. You want to remember who you are and work towards who you want to become.
So one piece of advice I'd offer, and it's something that carried me through, denied letter after denied letter, is remembering that you've done everything you can, right? When your college application deadline arrives and you've turned in that application, you need to look at that and be like, I went out there and I gave it my best and I did what I could. And now what happens, happens. And the reason that I say that is if we look back at Arusa's example of had the bad lunch, maybe their kid, missed the school bus that morning, something like that happens where that advisor is just in a bad mood reading your essay. That is what it is. And that's not on you. So when you go through this process, remember that it is most important that you just remember that you've done everything you can. Wake up every single day and say, I did my best. And remember that that is more important than anything else. The number of colleges you get into is not representative of how good you are as a person. What represents how good you are as a person is how much you put into it.
You are going to want to be open. In the next couple months, you are going to get hit with a lot of things. You're going to get hit with your college acceptances. You're going to get hit with, your first and second and third quarter grades. You're going to get hit with your transcript. You're going to get hit with a whole bunch of things that are coming in different directions, and it's going to get hectic. So I want you to be open and keep in mind that you are going to get there. One way or another, you are going to arrive where you are ultimately supposed to be. There's not one specific way to do college. There's not one specific way to go into the admissions process. There's, good and negative consequences with everything in life. So I want you to really keep in mind that college, like Boomy said, is not the end all be all. And you're going to want to be open to a lot of things. Take the advice of your peers, take the advice of the adults who have been there, your school teachers, your administrators, your guidance counselors. They are there as a resource for you.
I want to thank all of the graduates who joined me today. I hope you all continue to crush it in college. Also, I want to remind everyone watching to take a deep breath. And remember, you will get through application season, I promise you. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram for opportunities for you to be featured in the next episode. I'll see you guys next time on Teen Talk.